Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Project Cars 2, going to be tackling a snowy Nurburgring once more. My vehicle of choice is something a little bit different. We've got the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento, and while it is okay, not quite a road car, it is also not the usual full-on race cars that we have taken around the Nürburgring in the past. However, it is all-wheel drive, it is very light, it is a bloody fast car. So, putting that all together, I'm very curious to see where this is going to fit in the table. I mean, the entire point of this series at the start was, you know, the Audi S1 little all-wheel drive hatchback was beating some full-on race cars. So, how fast could the Sesto Elemento go? I don't know. I'm not sure. It should be an interesting one though to try and find out. Now, I've of course got one lap here at the Nürburgring, which always makes things a little bit challenging. It's all about extracting as much performance as possible from a car while still kind of learning as you go. Lap time wise, I mean, if we can go sub 9 minute, I think we will be doing pretty well in this. In fact, it might go actually a little bit. I've got the times here. I'm just looking. The Group A Skyline did an 8:46, and to think this has probably got more power. This has probably got more power. Should be faster. Should have better downforce, theoretically speaking, of course. Yeah, this is one of those really great big unknown cars. We're not going to challenge the top. We're not going to challenge the LMP cars. That much is for sure. But quite where it is going to go, I don't know. That could be quite interesting. It should sound good at least as we... whoa. Okay, that's a little bit more of an oversteery start than I was expecting all-wheel drive to kind of pull us down to what... Okay, so I think we're going to have to be a little bit careful in this car. It does move around already a tad more than I was expecting it to be, which is always fun. Although, again, at the end of the day, we should be able to get to full throttle in this car pretty easily. Theoretically speaking, though, it does slide around a little bit, which is a tad scary. Now, it is, you know, while it has got, hopefully, some levels of downforce, it isn't a full-on race car. We don't have the LMP levels of downforce, so I'm going to have to be careful, because at the end of the day, traction is all very well and good. However, we've still got to deal with just normal corner grip. We've still got limited levels of grip because we are on snow, because we are on ice, to 137 miles an hour here. I'm not sure how much... Whoa, that's a little bit too hot into there. Okay. That's sort of how much speed we can get away with through there. That was a little bit on the scary side. Now, it will be flat coming out of here. What are we going to get up to down this next section? We're up to 160 miles an hour. Oh, and that was, I think, the front end off the ground. Pretty sure. Don't think we had a full-on jump there. Pretty sure we had the front end off of the ground. Oh, we tipped the car in. Front end's got quite a lot more grip than I was sort of expecting it to in many ways. So it gets turned in pretty sharpish. We're going to have a little bit of a wiggle. Nope, it's all well behaved. Coming down here. There we go. Across the crests we go. Be another flat out section. Curbs. I wasn't expecting curbs to be too much of an issue here. Oh, god damn, that back end is not as planted as I would like. That's another time. It's not quite got away from me just yet. That was alarmingly close. Now, this is where we're going to have... Well, we should have lots of speed if we can get the car straight. It's not got the most traction of any of the all-wheel drive cars. It's not a complete... Well, once you've got out of a corner, put your foot down and you're fine job. It does still have a little bit of terrifying moving around through some of these turns. Okay, take it easy. Christ, it's very, very quick. However, it is not the best behaved all-wheel drive car I have ever driven around here. Not by a long shot. Which kind of surprises me. It does kind of surprise me. I've got to be quite careful. The brakes are good. You know, again, it's a very light car. It's a full-on circuit racer. So yeah, while it isn't, you know, an LMP car, we've still got some very, very sizable brakes. Got to be very, very careful though with the whole steering under braking thing. This car seems more susceptible to issues than a lot of the other cars that I have driven. Oh, don't know if I wanted, don't think I wanted first gear there. That was a silly idea. That upset the car no end. We can get away with it. This is the sort of car that you can get away with little mistakes. You're going to have to brake nice and early though down here, because I hate that corner. I hate trying to judge the brakes in the snow into there. Really easy to get yourself into trouble. Now, we shouldn't have too many issues with the grip up over this hill. Yeah, you've got to wait just a little bit. You've got to wait just that little second, get the car pointing in a straight line before you go for it. Otherwise, it's not going to have it. It's not going to find the grip that some of the cars have done. But I can then, yeah, get to full throttle a little bit better after that initial period of patience. You've got to be a tad careful with the Lamborghini. I don't know how on earth we're doing lap time wise. I think we're not doing too terribly. Oh god, there's more movement going on. I want to get to full throttle, but it's not filling me with confidence so far through here. I do these sections where these are fast corners, and there is just not a huge amount of grip in the snow. There we go. Now we will get to full throttle. We should be okay to run it for a little while down here. Oh, it does not have the level of grip through there that we have seen. What are we going to do through here? Third gear should be good for out the other side. No, we could have carried. Whoa, we could have carried a little bit more speed, but this car is not. I'm not filled with confidence with the way. With the way the Lamborghini is driving. You really do fight it. That was a very much chuck it into a corner. There's a bit sliding on the exit. Yeah, it's constantly moving around. It is, for an all-wheel drive car, this is nowhere near as planted as perhaps I would have liked. It's nowhere near got the kind of insane levels of traction that you hope for, because I've still got to be careful, because it's going to wiggle its way around regardless. And now we come up towards the tricky bit. Now we come up towards the very tricky bit. It's going to start getting quite technical here. And this is where our lack of full-on race car levels of downforce are potentially going to show, especially in a car that is not as composed as I would perhaps ideally be liking. I can't get any more throttle down because it's just moving everywhere. Curbs are... I thought we were going to be okay on curbs. It's probably not as bad as it has been in somewhere like the LMP and so on, but it's still not... I still don't have much faith in running over the curbs with this car. We're going to go a bit of sideways over the crest. We probably will. Slow it down for these very slidey corners. Yeah, we've seen that a number of times. It's just as you're braking downhill, the back end gets away from you. Now, we don't go for a silly spin like we did in the V8 supercar all that time ago. Can I get any power down? No, stop sliding. I can't get any power down because it's too busy sliding its way around up these hills. No, don't go on the grass. Don't go on the grass. It's really not got the level of grip that I would have wanted from an all-wheel drive car. It's not like the Skyline. It's not like a number of these that have gone around. Oh, come on, find some grip. Now I do wonder, I don't know how it works with the tyres. Of course, the game sets the tyres to snow tyres. Now this car from standard didn't look like it had full-on slicks, so I wonder if this is a slightly less racing version of a snow tyre, if that is a thing this game does. I have no idea. However, I do wonder if that might be the case. They might be the same tyres as everything else has run on. I genuinely don't know on that front, and that could explain some of the issues we are having in terms of grip. It could just be that this car, it's just not got the levels of grip that we really want from it. Oh, again, more wiggling. Perhaps actually it's hugely lightweight is a problem. Perhaps because it is such a light car, trying to find traction around some of these bits is a problem, although we haven't seen that with some of the other vehicles that have gone, so I don't know. It's definitely not the easiest thing to wrestle around. It's not the easiest thing to wrestle around the Nurburgring in good conditions, let alone in the snow. Oh, we're out of all of that lot. We're on to the straight. It's going to be pretty quick. Not going to break records in terms of straight line speed, but it is a pretty damn quick car. 160 miles an hour. I think probably better off in 5th, to be honest. 150. I'm not quite doing it. God, we can do 160. There we go. 160 miles an hour in the Lamborghini. We have, though, got to get the braking right for down here, and I don't have a huge... Again, it's all about that confidence in the brakes. Get the car stopped and get the car turned. Confidence in the front end doing what I want it to. We're going to slither and slide our way. Well, we are going to be a sub 9 minute lap around here. That is looking good. Oh, my phone got excited and fell off the side of the sim rig as we run up towards the line. We get good traction out of the final corner. An 8:46.2 for the Lamborghini. As we have, slidden into the water. I can't reach my phone. Where's my phone gone? There it is. Phone's got all the important lap times on it. It got very... I don't know how I managed to fall off the side there, but there we go. Well, let's do the interesting stuff. Okay, 8:46. We do go faster than the 9 minutes that I was kind of looking for. I actually realised how fast that is around here. So, we beat the Group A Skyline. We go into an 8th place. We beat the Group A Skyline. We beat the Formula X. We beat the McLaren F1 GTR, the Porsche 936. We are only 2 seconds down on the Ford GT. That GTE car that when it came here absolutely obliterated everything in terms of its time. The Ford that set that massive benchmark leap forward. And this is only 2 seconds down on that time. And this is in a car that is not actually that nice to drive. This is in a car, whoop, and that's me farting around with one hand on the steering wheel and how easy it is to cock it up. Yeah, this is a car that is not that easy to drive. The Ford is a way nicer car to drive. This might have all-wheel drive, but this is a lot more of a fight. That Ford was brilliant, quite frankly. The Ford was brilliant around here. And yeah, this was a real fight, but it's only 2 seconds down. This car makes a lot of speed, but you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to work bloody hard for it, because it is not easy to access it. The all-wheel drive, does help you with traction to an extent, but it really isn't a fire-and-forget kind of car. Even with all-wheel drive, even in 3rd gear, you can get wheel spin if the road's not perfectly straight and perfectly flat. So you're going to have to be careful with it. That does go to show the level of performance in this car, mind. To be 2 seconds away from a GTE car and, from a bloody good GTE car. That was a ridiculous lap time in itself. So, yeah, there we go. I was curious as to what sort of lap time this car was going to do. A very quick one. A very quick one indeed, but not as nice to drive or easy to drive as you might expect. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.